Hi, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of One of Us Knows What They Are Talking About, and the other one is you. And today we have a very special, bittersweet, parting is such sweet sorrow, getting choked up about it as we speak, really choked up about it. It could be the loss. It could be the peanut butter M&Ms. Was she born with it? Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. But anyway, we are.
No.
I don't think that's a problem. So
Listen,
we are
if Lorie
joined
would
today. Go ahead. We are joined today by one Jordan Fox, who is our case manager, and she has decided that she is going to leave us and pursue other things, possibly law school. No, her intent is to pursue law school. So this is her last week with Burch Law as a case manager. And so we thought it would be a good opportunity because many of our, I'm not going to call them clients or listeners, they're just fans, let's be real, have grown accustomed to her face to use and to allude to something that probably nobody in the office understands but myself. My Fair Lady, Pygmalion, yes, no, all right. Anyway, grown accustomed to her face. So we wanted to take this opportunity to spotlight Jordan, and then she can get the hell out of here because keep going. And you know, one of the many special things about Jordan is, you know, we post these things like, you know, the goodbyes and the farewells. For the first time, we genuinely are sad. It is bittersweet about her leaving. But you know, even her farewell party it's not a goodbye. It's just until next time. So anyway, Jordan Fox, exactly. Everybody.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
We have a few things that we're going to discuss, but Jordan, do you have any introductory words that you would like to share with our fans?
The main thing is that y'all aren't getting rid of me that easy. That's the main thing.
That's what
plus one for everything.
Yeah. Infiltrate.
We have discussed this, that anytime we have any +1 situations, that Sam is just going to invite Jordan.
She's just going to show up. Yeah.
That's fair.
There's
then
like
is someone going to make is someone going to make Daniel their +1?
Oh no, he's left.
We only have so many +1s.
Somehow Jordan got a hold of the team event calendar for 2025. We don't know how. It just happened.
Yeah, it's not like I took a picture of it and sent it to her or anything.
Snail mail.
Well, so the first thing on One of Us Knows What We're Talking About, another one, or they're talking about another one is you, is law school, and it's really horrible. So, but it's an important means to the end. Of those who are participating in the podcast, I'm the one who's gone through law school. Others have suffered adjacently to people who have gone through law school. And the biggest thing that I can prepare you for, which we had our, well, I don't want to say favorite intern because that can get into a lot of people's feelings, but one of our most beloved temporary people was Ali. And the thing that I told him was that probably the most insufferable human beings on the planet are law students. And, you know, a lot of reasons why, I don't know, but I'm learning that college students are also insufferable in the sense that they think that they are morally superior to everybody. And so law students think they are intellectually superior to everybody. But they have no law degree or law license to do anything about it. So good luck to you. They are terrible. But you can battle through. I don't know if anybody has anything else to say about law school or law students in particular.
Well, first off, how can I forget Ali? Oh my gosh. I need to text him and send him a link to the podcast. You know, that's
True.
it. Second,
He probably
every now
already
and then,
knows.
if I make any like lovely little scoffing noises about law school, I just had a spouse go through it. Best 3 years of
I
my
like how
life.
you said you had a spouse go through
Yeah, I was
it.
gonna
Like,
say, you
have more than
like
one.
you've got like one of my
Not the spouse.
spouses went through it, which
Well,
you
no,
know,
I just
is a
have one
thing
spouse, but you know,
currently.
they are my spouse. Why do I have to say yeah, why can't I say current husband? I mean, that's true. He is currently my husband.
It's your
She's
first
current
husband.
spouse, and I was like,
That's
have you
a-
been hiding like somebody from us?
We're a
I've been to your
progressive
house
law firm.
multiple times.
We are
I
progressive
love how
law firm.
that's where Sam goes with this. I'm hiding somebody.
Yeah.
No, just my spouse.
I don't think Cynthia
I felt
has
that's on
the
its face.
tolerance
My
for more
spouse.
than one.
No.
Like, I mean,
I
barely,
don't seriously. people.
barely even
hard.
one. It's just this particular one fits very nicely with Cynthia. But
Mhm.
yes, tell us about your experience being a law student adjacent.
One of the best things is you just make plans for yourself because Luke never had time. Do you know how many times I was like, "Hey Sam, it's Friday night. Do you want to go get dinner?" Because I knew Luke wasn't gonna, have time for it.
And
One
you knew
time-
Sam would be available.
Oh, I knew Sam would be available.
Man.
Well, hold on, because I asked her during the workday.
Wait,
"Hey, Sam,
We
are you
already
gonna
made
be
fun of my haircut last episode.
You don't have to comb me out like this.
I usually asked her during
Yeah,
the workday.
To be fair, it is usually earlier in the week.
Yeah, usually I'm like, "Hey, do you want to do this thing?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have time." Or she's readjusted some.
Yeah, I
things
usually
with her
readjust
friends,
my weekly plans.
her
that I
other
have.
friends. It's
Yeah.
fine. All I'm gonna say is, you know what? It's a time. Make sure you have supportive people. Make
Yeah.
sure that they know to not make plans for you. That's just one of those things that it's like, no, you don't know how you're going to feel from one week to another, the tomes of reading that you're going to have to do a night, over the weekend, things like that. So I would say for you, Jordan, as somebody who's seen it, actually do enjoy it. Like there's some good stuff, there's some good times. There's only like
What are the good
emotional
times?
break, and then after the first emotional break, it's all just fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. After all
I
of
feel
that,
like-
it's just dissociation.
Yeah, well,
Hysteria.
actually,
Yeah.
the good times, like, I know that Luke always really appreciated whenever there was like a cold call and he was able to answer things and actually not have the professor reduce him to tears like other people. That's
That's
a reality of law school.
a huge
I would
marker
not
of
cry.
progress.
I slightly tangent from Cynthia. I would encourage you just to not have people, and especially since you lead with empathy and woo, just they can just don't worry about people. Just worry about Jordan
Yeah.
and do the things, but don't take anything too seriously.
Yeah,
It doesn't
actually
matter.
have some
doesn't
fun
matter.
with it.
Yes. I mean, how many times have you asked me if I made law review or where I ranked in my class or any of those things? Right?
And how much do those things matter?
It's moo.
It is moo.
It's moo. All right. Which coincidentally, there is moot court, but I encourage you to call it moo court.
Moo
It
court.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I will, and it will make me happy.
Okay.
Good.
And Jordan's always wanted to go to law school, right? That's why you got a degree from SMU in theoretical mathematics. That's obviously a stepping stone.
So that was my one thing that I know about law students specifically, is that they're not the best at math. So I have a leg up there. And I know this only from personal experience. I went out to dinner with my friend and a bunch of his law school buddies, and the check came, and there was just panic. And I was sitting there
Did they
feeling
go
a little bit
Dutch?
superior. Oh, they went Dutch. They did go Dutch. Yes. But yes, I felt like a little bit condescended during the dinner. And so it was just so much
By
satisfaction.
law students?
Crazy.
Okay, we're gonna turn her down.
But just so much satisfaction just sitting there watching them panic over the tip. It was fantastic.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So, Jordan, why do you want to go to law school?
Why do I want to go to law school?
Mhm.
I have always loved to say I am right and this is why. That's always honestly
Just do a
been something,
podcast.
right? But as we have for our listeners, we did do an office strength test, and it just so happened that my last strength, the one that I am the least strong with, is self-assurance. And so I have always really wanted and counted on, I don't know, justification to say, like, no, I can prove myself right. And this is exactly the steps I took to get there. So that has always been something that's really satisfying to me. That's probably why I was into math. Like, I can show you exactly how I got this proof. And that's why I really like logic as well. That's kind of the overlap of where law and theoretical math meet, is that logic sphere. And I have always loved logic and just being able to prove I'm right and this is why.
All right. I really need to know what Sara is thinking right now.
I think my initial thought was because you hate us.
No, that's just you, Sarah.
Just you.
So, for those of you watching at home or listening, preferably listening, Sara and Jordan have this lovely rivalry when it comes to life, or does it just
Yeah.
ping pong?
I think just existing.
Just
existing.
anything.
most things, yeah.
They're typically
Besides
like
height.
pretty chill, but you put them in the same room going against each other, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't feel safe. I would like an adult. Thank you.
It works out.
Yeah.
Typically,
It's
I'm the adult in the room,
motivation.
so.
It's a healthy
Oh.
rivalry.
So that was your first thought. Did you have a second thought?
No, that
Or
was
is that
it.
it? Okay. Is that she's, in fairness to you, Jordan, that's just some PTSD from other people who've left that say goodbye to everybody but Sara.
Yeah, that's true.
That is like I think about that almost every day. I think it's so funny.
Is it because we bring it up almost every day?
I mean, yeah, that too. But
All right. So Jordan, for our fans, talk to us about some misperceptions you had about law and estate planning and probate coming into the firm. Then we're going to talk about
First-
lessons learned, which you can conflate those. But what are some misperceptions? Let's start there.
Oh, this is great. First of all, I came in and did not know what probate meant, so that was a very good learning curve there. I had no idea I knew the concept of what a will was, and everything like that. I knew the concept of what a trust was and had the misconception that you have to be rich in order to have a trust. That's absolutely not correct. Because we'd only heard it in terms of like trust fund babies or things of that nature. No.
I mean, you are from Highland Park, so that's fair.
To put that in context, that's correct. But
Even though you two have peasant shoes.
yes. Oh, some great
There's
hits
so many
from
references you're making
reality
right
of
now,
man.
Lorie, that really only hit
It's
with
okay.
us.
It's okay.
But this is
Go ahead, Jordan.
our exit interview as well. So
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I really didn't know anything that I was doing. When I first came here, I had to learn the basics, which I had some great training by, shout out to Diana. She was fantastic.
Diana was great.
And so she helped train me, get me up to speed on
She still is.
Oh, yes, she still is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Still
She'll be
with
here
us.
on Monday.
Yes. And then also I had the misconception that they teach you stuff in law school, where the more that I've gotten into the legal field here, I realize everything is different state to state. everything is different county to county. Everything is different court to court within those counties. So there's not a lot of substance that can be taught in law school besides like definitions and things that will be across all jurisdictions there, but you can't really teach a state's codes because you don't know if that student's gonna practice law in that state. So that was something that was a big wake-up call, like, oh, they don't teach like law in law school. They teach you how to think. They teach you how to see and interpret the law and how to interpret certain things that you come across. So that's my biggest misconception there.
They break how you think about life.
They reprogram you.
I feel like I am, I guess, a little bit prone to that at this point with being able to
being broken.
Yeah. I feel like there was.
It is a prerequisite to working for Burch Law. You have to be broken in some way, or have a really bad misspelling of your name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the biggest misconception is what my whole idea of what law school was is getting taught substance. No, it's how to interpret the substance.
But this isn't law school. So how is that a misperception about the practice of law?
The reason why it's a misconception about the practice of law is it's not like we have a certain rule to go by the book. Like we have the codes, but they're up for interpretation. So like when you have a certain case with a certain client with their situation going on, it's not going to be the same because of even the smallest factors with different cases. So it can be interpreted different ways depending on how you're looking at the case.
Without using client names, give us an example. Putting you on the spot, Jordan. Come on.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. The best example we have, is the adoption by estoppel. That is the best example.
I still don't think that's real.
Well, it was real to this attorney ad litem. For our fans, attorney ad litems, when you probate a will, and when you probate for an estate with no will, there is an attorney appointed on behalf of the state to really represent any and all potential heirs, and that is called an attorney ad litem. So it was very real to this attorney ad litem, the concept of adoption by estoppel. And that was just something that we did not, on our end, believe applied to the situation. So we still have yet to see how the judge will decide on that one, but it's really up for interpretation in that way, depending on whose eyes are looking at it.
True. Well, it's not our problem because we refer that kind of crap out. True. All right. So any other misperceptions that you can think of?
Not too many. That there would be structure. That there would be structure. Oh my goodness.
Now, hold the phone. Please explain, because the firm has lots of structure.
Oh, the firm has lots of structure, but that would be
and we know where your
being
parents
structured in the court. There is no structure. Like there is, but there's no consistency. I was thinking, oh, this is the law, so it must be like work in a well-oiled machine, bureaucracy. No, not at all how it works. Yeah, not at all how it works.
I see. Sam, did you have any misperceptions coming into it, or misperceptions about Jordan?
Ooh.
Not about Jordan. I still remember during my interview, you were the one person that made me just feel so calm during the interview.
Aww.
Maybe it was that empathy
barf.
connecting.
Oh, stop.
I feel like when
I was there too, you know.
Yeah, but you were playing with Adley.
I was. Yeah, so I love how with your interview, at some point, Lorie came in and I was just like, you know what? I'm just here. Let me play with the child.
You were also slightly terrifying, which I think was on purpose, but
Cyntia,
thank you.
Cyntia. because she was the one asking like the hard hitting questions and everything.
You mean the things that I need to know if I'm gonna
Yeah.
have somebody come in and be a part of this team?
Yeah.
So sorry.
It's her
Oh, word, I'm
JOB.
here.
That was my JOB.
For now.
I think, whoa.
Ooh.
Don't do
I'm just kidding.
that.
You're here. You're going to die here.
Yeah, I'm gonna die at 79.
It's really just a matter of
Still
whether
will.
it's sooner
I'll
or
still
later.
die here.
But for misconceptions, I think a big one, well, I don't know if it's considered a big one, but when you think of a law firm, you really think of like you're there for 90 hours a week and you're doing all this overtime and we are kind of constantly stressed, but like we're not a normal law firm, as we put it. We're a law firm. Sparkles.
We're a cool law firm.
Yeah, we're a cool law firm. We're a fun law firm. We're a hip law firm.
I just need people to know that there's a lot of times
Hip
in our
might be a
marketing and
little
our
far.
posts, I don't always they're done grudgingly. Like Sara really will go for it, and I just sit here and just say, "Huh, is that too far on the professionalism?" Lori's not going to care. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
You don't have to
The
be
thing
bland.
is, we purposely keep our employee numbers low enough that we are not subject to
Don't say
any
that. No.
laws of.
Okay, she said it.
I mean, it's not true, but it's true.
I just don't want anyone
It's
to
not-
allege it. And
It's not
Thank you.
intentional, but it is true. So your misperception was that Jordan was the nice one. Is that what I just heard?
I mean, everybody was nice, but I was so nervous during it that she was there on my left, just a very calm presence.
I also I have a perma smile.
Yeah.
Wait
that's
a
true.
minute. Why she has a resting smile face?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
When was Jordan part of your interview?
When I came in, for like when we were
downstairs, because it was
yeah.
when we were doing. Jordan was there,
Yeah.
yeah, it was before you swooped in with the banter crew, and then
but
you
why
invited
was
everybody
Jordan
else in the
there?
team down.
Oh,
It was-
because Jordan
I was
had
hiring her
previously
replacement.
been the admin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody came in for an in-person team meeting, and I do not remember anybody's faces from that.
That's for the best. Most of them are here.
It was
Yeah.
right after your interview. We all flocked to the conference room. Yep.
Yeah, and so I met everybody, but I do not remember any faces.
Kind of
I'm right here.
I mean,
I mean,
can
like
we?
doors.
Okay.
Like it was a good call, even though this is about Jordan. It was a good call to hire Sam. She has skills beyond our expectations. But can
Yeah,
we
very
be
much so.
real for a moment? What is the specific reasons we hired? What are the specific reasons we
Lori
hired?
said it's
Two.
because of cats and because of Taylor Swift, and I was very wary. Listen,
That is a bold-faced lie, because you led with that and you feel the same way.
hold on.
About
I
both
led with that
subjects.
because I knew that you would be there, but I was also like, can we do a little more? But also the rest of the people we interviewed that day were, oh, buddy. This lady
You
showed up
know-
in like really fuzzy slippers, boots,
And jeans and a
and
zip up.
jeans.
No, they were Uggs.
Yeah. Boots with a
Were they
flip.
Uggs? They were really fuzzy.
That's
They were
wild.
fuzzy Uggs.
Sam, you were the best that we interviewed
Ah, thank you.
for that position that day.
Yeah.
No, Sam.
So what are?
I'm here.
We'll get back to interviewing, but so Jordan. Well, Sara, did you want to mention any misperceptions? I'm gonna pretend like we want your input.
No.
Okay. So Jordan. So those are some misperceptions. What are some lessons learned? And we just did this exercise, so these should be very top of mind. Like, what have you learned in the years that you have worked in your tenure with Burch Law?
Something that I've learned pretty directly from you and Cyntia is that people don't care how much substance you throw at them. They care about being heard and how you make them feel. And
Wait a
that's what they
minute.
remember.
Cyntia taught you that?
Both of you. I was crediting both of you that mentor role. But
I have feelings
that has
too,
made
Lori. I feel them.
that has made a
Feelings
huge,
adjacent.
but it's just made a huge difference in how I speak to clients. Just making sure that I understand, like that they know I understand that their problems matter and we're hearing them and we want to make sure we get them done in an efficient way. And even if we are hindered by the court or they want something done quicker than is reasonable, it's just making sure that they know that they matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, something like I do remember like some of these conversations mostly with clients don't always want to know all of the technical things. The clients don't always like that is not where their head is at, especially for probate. They just lost somebody. So I think that's like one of the biggest things that it's like, yeah, no, you really have to be careful with those whenever you're actually talking to them, interacting with them. You don't want to sound like a cold robot.
No, you want to sound like a warm robot. Right,
You know,
Sarah?
like Baymax,
Exactly.
the big guy. I know.
No, well, I'm the only Gen Xer. Like number 5 from Short Circuit. That's all right.
For those at home, Sarah did just like, hand over head, like it.
Sarah, what do you think Jordan's lessons learned have been?
I sent them to you.
Oh, you did.
Did you pick any of Jordan's?
I did. Yeah, I did. I don't remember them. I'm sorry. I think friendship. Camaraderie.
Are you serious right now?
No.
I feel like this is very disingenuous right now, Sarah.
No, it's genuine.
So I have a point about with Cyntia.
Save her.
Yeah.
Don't save her, Jordan. That's not the point of this podcast.
There was a point in time, this is a great little anecdote, where I, as I did before many a phone call, was stressing out. This is in my first year as a case manager. I was stressing out before calling up a client and telling them some bad news. And the bad news was on behalf of the court, but I was, of course, going to be the messenger. And I was freaking out about this call for like at least an hour. And I came back to my desk and Cyntia had written a little note that said, it was the acronym of FEAR. And it says false information or false evidence appearing real. Remember, especially when you do nothing. So that was something, it's all about how you frame things and how you, it's not spinning them. It's just painting them in the light that they should be seen. Yes,
mindset.
Exactly.
So that's very touching, Jordan. Do you have any specific things that I have taught you that are unique to me that you're not going to mistakenly also ascribe to Cyntia? Like anything specific?
Oh, there's more that she can subscribe just to me, though. Like, we shared an office. There's one time she was having a hard day and we talked about it.
One time she had a hard day and we talked about it.
But Lorie, I chose the words directly from the ones that you used, which were people care about how you make them feel. So that's a direct
that's what
quote.
I taught you. Cyntia didn't have anything.
That's what you say, though. You just say the thing. I taught her by doing and by like actually whenever. Okay, so
can
whenever
you pick
Jordan
out
first started
to me?
Whenever first Jordan started, she was at the front desk, and then very quickly we realized, oh, she is very capable of doing so much more. So I shared an office with Jordan, baby Jordan, coming into the office, learning how to manage cases. And there were so many times whenever I'm like, I really feel, Jordan, that's why you're dehydrated. Your hands were just so sweaty because of how anxious you were about all these calls. And there were so many times when I would look at her, I'm like, okay, I understand how you're feeling. I'm going to make this call for you. You're going to listen to me do it. And then you're going to do the next one. I may have done that 3 or 4 more times instead of just making her do the next one. But eventually we got there. But I think that did show hey, I understand that you are feeling a certain way. And that let me do this to show no, it'll go. Even if I am delivering news that is not exactly the ideal situation or what the client wants to hear in that moment, but it's the truth and it's what we have to tell them. But we're also going to tell them how we're going to fix it and how we're going to move forward. So I think that that's like a really big thing that we've tried to instill in everybody. And I think that that's an area where you have really grown to be like, oh, okay, great. I'll call them. And there's no like before the days of old where it's like the really like the anxiety
Physically shaking.
I was
that
going to
would
say
be really
physically
hard.
shaking.
And it was just like a physical reaction to it.
How
And
did,
so I think
how did
that's a really
this
great
turn
thing.
back into being about you, Cyntia?
Because you try to make it about you.
It is about me.
Uh-huh.
Do we not all understand that?
It's about
All right,
Jordan,
here-
you know.
Here's your opportunity.
Oh man, Lorie, you've taught me so much over the past almost 3 years. One of the best things, for example, not taking yourself too seriously. Like oh my gosh, that's definitely one thing in terms of like where we have this situation, but you can always find the, I don't know, not the humor, but just the levity. And so, like Cyntia was saying, my anxiety would sometimes be debilitating, but it's because I was taking things too seriously. And I just really needed to understand that I need to make the client feel heard. So that, like, I don't know. That's the main takeaway is dedication to.
So your official going away party is in a couple weeks, and you have this time to study for the LSAT and to come up with some better parting words for me.
Yes, of course.
I will offer some for you right now. And I remember very pointedly, one of them is, what did I teach you? It's only a problem
if you say
it's a problem, right? But I mean, in fairness to Jordan, because I'm having to kind of rationalize this in my head, she is the one person that remembers everything I say. So when we're in a meeting and I'm like, and what do I say? And Jordan's always like, blah, 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 blah. So I'm losing that. And I think one of the first times that I knew that you would listen and even make notes was the 5 rules that I started establishing, which there's a great video Sara made for this. But what, Jordan, just for my own satisfaction, what are the 5 rules that I taught you?
Rule 1, don't get married. Rule 2, provided that you do get married, don't get divorced. Rule 3, provided that you get divorced, don't try and divvy up your estate around your stepchildren. Don't change your name. Am I missing one?
You are.
Yeah. It's a big one.
Whoa.
Oh, she
swore. We went blue.
Oh.
Well, it was, if you are married and you have stepkids, like don't try and like only give things to your kids and all of that. There was don't change your name.
Well, the one that we're missing is if you do get married and you do plan on getting divorced, don't have kids.
Don't have kids. Yeah, you think about that's what it is.
Oh, wow. That was a big one. I'm
That's
really
my life
disappointed in
advice.
myself. It's fine.
It's
I'm
okay.
fine.
It's been a while since you've asked us of the
Yeah.
rules, so it's been a while.
Well, because Sara made a video and I felt like it's out there now.
I'm still disappointed in myself. It's fine. We're fine.
It's okay,
We're
Jordan.
fine.
It's just kind of a constant state that you're in that we've tried to beat out of you, but clearly not all the way. Any other last words that you, or last lessons learned before we transition out of this?
Last lessons learned, just make sure you work with people you like too. That's like,
Not Sara.
it makes the day. Yeah.
Not Sara.
It makes
It's okay. Sara doesn't do anything with like the actual legal production side. It's fine.
She's,
I think this is the first time the two of you have been in the same room together.
Ever?
ever.
Yeah.
No coffee.
Yeah.
Ever.
No.
What? You
I don't
didn't
think
have
we did.
coffee with the posse together?
No, we did. We did. Yeah.
Y'all
You had to.
have.
I made sure that happened.
Yeah.
There has to have been a time where Cyntia was doing something and Sam left the room and it was just me and Sara at Cynthia's house.
Y'all have been in my car next to each other. Does that count?
Did you have something, Jordan, that you were
Oh,
saying? I didn't want to get in
it's
the
just-
way of your deep
it's
thought.
made work just so much better to work with people you really enjoy and that you work well with and you understand how they work. Just all of the above. There are some people you can enjoy and not work well with them. It's very good to be able to enjoy them and work well with them, and it's been a gift.
We have been sure to get rid of all the people you didn't work well with. And you're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to say this for, once and for all. Anytime that Jordan would have a feeling about something, we would get to the point where we're like, you know what? At the end of the day, Jordan's not wrong. The person should not have done that. Should it have been handled slightly different? Yes. However, she was not unreasonable. Jordan has a good work ethic.
Jordan's amazing work ethic.
Yes.
Jordan's frustrations, 99.9% of the time, were justified. It was really more how she reacted to them that we had to work on.
The expressions.
Because, someone dropping the ball and screwing up a case for a client is different than someone unloading the dishwasher and putting a dirty spoon in with the silverware. But Jordan reacts to those equally as the greatest offense that you could commit.
I mean, hold on. If you're including the dishwasher, she's right, though.
I mean, yes, but Cyntia, you and I both know that those are hills we die on at home. And I can't die on that hill at the office. It's like at some point, I gotta wash my hands of you people.
At home, that's Alex's hill to die on. Jordan's brother.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fork was too small.
So as we near to a close of this episode, a couple of things. I don't feel like we can move on from this or move on from Jordan without talking about how completely horrible her interview was.
It was not that bad.
Okay, let's back up. So first of all, Jordan, how much experience in life, the world, and the work did you have before you applied here? The answer is nothing, like absolutely nothing. I didn't even understand some of the work experience that she had. I still don't know what a chill out specialist is.
Cryotherapy.
Yeah, I don't think that was very substantive work. And but I do remember looking at your interview and you like volunteered for animals and we're like, oh, and we were in like a hiring frenzy at the time. And so Kimberly, my wife, also with the firm, and Cyntia, like they do some of the initial stuff before I get involved, and they just love Jordan. And so it's like, fine, I guess we have to like find a place for her. So we did. But as part of the interview, Cyntia, I feel like you should explain how the interview process is and why she did this horrible thing to me. And I questioned all of yours and Kimberly's judgment in life and the world.
Listen, it worked out. So for people who have never applied to Burch Law, here's a little, I don't know if this is a warning label, but it might be. We do several rounds of interviews. We do first, an initial phone screen, try to get a feel for you.
There is no swimsuit competition.
There is not. There is a written portion where you must do an assignment, get it back to us within a timely manner. That's also a very big thing people don't catch. The deadlines are part of it. So, and then after that, if you have made it through all these steps, and like this, I said two things, but it's multi-part, every part. You actually get to come in and do in-person interview. So up to this point, Kimberly was the one who had talked to Jordan. Kimberly was the one who had seen her resume and everything. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, this seems like it looked similar to some aspects of the other resumes we'd seen. But Kimberly did have a point where that, like the math part, the theoretical math degree really stood out. So I was like, okay, cool. So then she shows up, and the only people in that in the room for the interview were me, her, and Kimberly. So we start going through the questions, and it's like, okay, great. She's personable. She's like really like
She's
well
woo.
presented. Yes, she is definitely in the room to win people over, not in a bad way. Just she is very nice and everything. Part of the interview is you have the question portion, and then we do an on-the-job assignment whenever you come to the interview. Depending on the role, there's different things that we have you do, and also depending on the role, they take different amounts of time. So for attorneys, it's much longer than for what it is for like a legal receptionist or administrative assistant. So many of our clients have received gas calls. This is a call where the point of it is just to reach out to you, see how you are, make sure you're doing
What does
okay.
GAS stand for?
I was trying to avoid that as much as possible, but they're called give a shit calls, so it's gas calls. And just literally to show you, we care. We are not trying to get you to do anything else besides, hey, you know the stuff that you already paid for? Did you follow the follow-up steps that we gave you? So that is the purpose. Really, I'm going to say this, low stakes. So we're sitting there. I give Jordan a short little like script. It's like a one pager, and I tell her, okay, this is essentially the setup. This is what it's going to be. Read it. Let me know if you have any questions. And then Kimberly is the one who's going to call the person that Jordan's going to be doing the gas call.
It's not a real client because
it's not a real client for these. We would not do that. We typically do like my husband has done it. Lori's stepdad has done it. We've had like family, friends and family, like really close, be the ones who are the gas call recipients. So Kimberly grabs Kimberly's own personal cell phone and she calls Jordan's person. Listen, okay, and then Kimberly, what she does is she slides her cell phone over to Jordan, and then Jordan, can you remind me what was scrolling as the caller ID? Whenever
So I was the fake gas call recipient on this one.
I'm gonna pull a Sara and
That's
move
not
forward.
the surprise.
Yes. Well, hold on. I feel that the way that Kimberly has put your name in her phone is seared in Jordan's brain, and that is the piece. Now.
Well, that is correct.
Very important. So, Jordan, if you would.
So I'm gonna Sara style lean forward. It said, "Lorie, my love," with a bunch of hearts, and
it's one heart. Let's not exaggerate this.
It was multiple back then.
That is also when I figured out that you guys were married. I was like, oh, cool. Like, awesome. But this is the owner of the firm. I'm about to speak with the owner of the firm. Whew. So, little anxious self. First of all, I have this script and I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, I can read a script. I can read words. Like, I'm good with that. I get the script. The script is not written in like, would it be second person, where it has the way that you would say it exactly to the client? It's ask them about this. And so
I believe, yeah, like at the top, there's only one small section that did say like, hi, this is Cyntia from Burch Law. Are you blah, blah? Great. I'm just reaching out to see if you have a couple moments. That is the only part that is in that way. Yes.
So I read that. And so I was like, sick. They gave me some time to prepare. I think I maybe took about 2 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, no, I got this. And then on top of it being Lorie that I was speaking with, first of all, that gave me pause. I tripped up over the parts that were completely scripted out for me. And then I got to the mysterious third person wording, and I just completely froze. It was like a Zoom call freezing just with my words. So I can only imagine how Lorie experienced that call.
I mean, I don't think you can only imagine, because I remind you almost every day for the last 3 years. This is the single worst interview I've ever heard in my life. And I was thinking, like, how did this person get to like the third round of interviewing with us?
Okay, but with all fairness, you heard that one call. It was like, I have been in worse interviews that have done gas calls.
I did not know at the time that Kimberly had kept my phone listed that way with one heart, by the way.
That's true.
It's only ever been one heart. And then I'm like, okay, that would throw off many a person. But it was pretty horrid. And yet, we still hired you.
Yeah, Lorie was very much adamant, like, well, we just want this one. And Kimberly and I were like, but what about these 3? And she was like, no. And we're like, but the 3. And she was like, 2. And we were like, so these 3? And that's
Yes.
how, yeah.
But Jordan was not hired as a case manager.
She was
hired as like an admin with
So,
the
Jordan,
lowest
I love
of
you. You're
expectations
intelligent.
possible.
Lowest bar. We were like, let's see what
And
she can
then-
do.
Limit the client interaction as much as possible.
Quickly,
No,
and I mean,
you
I
were
know
doing science, girl.
Sam, you're an administrative assistant, but your job description is like tenfold of what it was for Jordan at that time. And like Cyntia said, within, I don't know, like a month, it's like, we got to give this girl a raise. And then within like 2 months, it's like, we're going to give you a promotion. And just the rest is history. And as horrid as that interview was, not the worst one I've had, unfortunately, but truly a wonderful gift to our office, Jordan. We are closing in on time just because I do have a hard stop today, but I don't want to move on with or close actually without talking about the amazing idea that you have, that you pitched. Can you tell us about that quickly, succinctly?
Absolutely. So, a lot of people want to be able to explain their situation to an attorney and get some legal advice without having to pay for that. So, rather than paying for that with money, you can pay for that with your dignity. So, it would be a scathing case evaluation, but free of dollar charge. So, you can still get a direction on how to go forward, but you might feel 3 inches tall.
Yeah, I think Jordan originally came up with this idea as a joke, but I've kind of been thinking about it because for people who don't have as straightforward of a scenario, we have what's called case evaluations, and we charge for those because they're getting substantive legal advice. They're going to be told about all their options, all the legal steps, and be given an idea of what they can do going forward. There is a true, sincere value to it. But the idea that, well, if you don't want to pay for that, then you can have a free version where you get all of that. You get a full assessment of your case, you get the directions, you get the options, potential fees, and everything. But it's going to be in the comedy stylings of the sarcasm of Lorie Burch, who has a podcast called One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, the Other One Is You, and you're going to have to subject yourself to that. And I'm tempted to do it. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I think it would teach a lot of valuable lessons, especially if it were done in a public forum, for example, like a
Yeah.
Instagram
Like an open
Live or
mic
something.
night. We can do
Right.
an open mic night.
Let's go.
And
Even though it might, yeah.
So we started, like, we were workshopping this a little bit more yesterday. And so we're talking about like a comedy case evaluation. So we're going to like make a fake stage with a microphone and they have to like sit there. And it's where I just like call them out and review and answer their questions.
I like that.
I
Either
think it's an
way,
idea worth exploring.
the audience will get value because the lessons will stick in because it's funny.
I even thought, more than it being a free case evaluation, that they would then get a discount on the services because the joy and pleasure that they're giving to me provides a value to me.
Priceless.
Yeah. And maybe they'd be a guest on the podcast. Like, hey, we've got this podcast and we will do your case evaluation live. And you're just going to have to accept how things are presented to you.
And
I
you
think
have
it's a good
attorney-client privilege with the rest of our listeners as well. I
Right.
swear.
So in the last minute, because I do have a hard stop, in the last minute, we've kind of been doing this all along, but we thought that this would be a really great opportunity for management, also called the executive syndicate at Burch Law, to do an exit interview with Jordan. Cyntia, what do you got?
Okay. So earlier this week, we decided that we're going to let all of our clients know that you're leaving. And one of our clients sent back, congratulations. Jordan is the one person who knew how to answer all our questions. Law school will suit her. I need to know how I can get this energy to others in the firm.
I think I answered like 2 questions from her.
No, that's not what you say, Jordan. You say, yes, we had extensive conversations. I was so personable to her. Okay, fine, that's fine. We'll
I had a phone call with her and it went great.
There you go. Okay, that's great. So if you ever were looking for to work in a legal profession setting again, what are things that you would look for in a law firm?
Like I had mentioned, enjoying the people that I work with. That is definitely number one.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It's the wrong answer?
Yeah. What's to say Burch Law?
Burch Law.
I don't necessarily think that was the wrong answer, Sarah, but and also Lorie curses all the time on here. Don't worry about it.
But yes, definitely finding people that I enjoy working with, because why go work somewhere every day if you're not enjoying where you're at?
Well, just don't
leaving the door open.
We've had people like that too.
She's like, this door, I'm gonna put a couple like stops here just to make sure.
That's why we had to end our unlimited PTO policy.
Yes. Oh.
Anyway, did I interrupt? What else you got?
Oh, I just didn't know if you had something. Okay. Since I do love doing interviews. So Jordan, whenever we have your it's not, goodbye forever party, what kind of cake do you want?
Ooh. No, she wants popcorn. If you ask for popcorn, party's canceled.
I have to do an ice cream cake. That's what I've done like every year.
Okay.
I didn't know we were doing a cake, so we got to plan all of this.
Oh. Yeah, I can bring one. Baskin Robbins. We love it.
Jordan,
you're not
going to have
this
Arby's homemade ice cream is right down the street?
That's the least she can do. Okay.
Well, she can bring some wine. Actually, no, it would be hot.
With all of that, yes, she can. So with that, Jordan, thank you for being part of the team. You'll always be a part of Burch Law, which you're the only person who's leaving that I would ever say that about. But I mean it. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our fans, our legions of fans. And I hope that you will join us next time for another exciting, interesting, entertaining, and informative episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About. And Jordan?
The other one is you.
And Jordan, what do I say every Monday? I hope you all had a great weekend, or
the weekend that you deserve.
Thank you, Jordan, for always appeasing me. And
thank you.
I bid you adieu. That end.